and then we're going to spread out. I'll do 1 or 2 round robins with everybody to kind of see what's going on, take a bunch of notes, and regroup us to give you all of the answers. So keep in mind, anybody with a communicating device, and you guys can interchange with who you came with. I know it seems kind of odd, even though you all came with just one other person, but if you came as 4 or 5 people, you would be at an advantage because you'd be able to swap out a bunch of devices. So feel free to swap them out. Communicators, this is where I start withholding information on purpose. I do not want you looking for all of the answers that you may know. I'm not going to give you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, for example. You will get the answers from your communicators. That's how this works. That's the fun part. Now, where the heck are you? You're in a smelly old parking lot with a big, giant, nasty dumpster at the end. I told you, I take you to weird spots, and Ron's looking at me like, what the hell are you doing here? I love the look on his face right now. But this place used to be something. It used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. They're standing right in the middle of it. So the mansion was up here in the front of the space. Eliza's garden lined up with Five Church Restaurant and went all the way across. And then the servant and slave quarters were in the back of the home. That's the layout of the land. Who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks, in case you weren't paying attention. That's why we look for the secondary clues. In the event that somebody hears the name Charles, I need to know which one it is so I know how to address them. It's a different person. So you guys get the point. Moving on. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you combined, especially when we're 20 days away from an election year. Yeah, nobody likes politics right now. If I don't give the gentlemen their recognition, they will do it for me in a nasty manner through a spirit box. So I just do it every night and we move on and talk about Eliza instead. Eliza. She marries Charles at a young age of 42 today's standards. I say it slowly because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from when young girls got married in colonial times at like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards because the husband was over double her age. So just kind of put those perspectives in the back of your brain. I'm not going to tell you what those numbers are. Moving on. Correct. Dad is basically over in England and he thinks he's dying. And he wants to bring all of his kids home so he can see them. And Eliza didn't believe he was dying. So instead, she stayed put right here and got married in 1744. You do not get married in that year to earn a green card. We're not a country yet. So you did marry them out of love. Guys, there's nothing horrific about this space. It's a true love story, and it's actually a place of respect. Believe it or not, people are parking around her house on this way. But she was correct. Dad did not die right away, and instead he started sending her gifts from England to where he was standing. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye, that makes your blue jeans blue. A lot of you have it on tonight because that's what we use it for. When she got the seeds, though, she had to learn from her servants how to keep it going. It's not always hot here, as you guys can all see with bundled up jackets and hoodies. But then she learned how to make the dye and moved to a cash crop. Got a hold of Dad overseas and told him that the rice plantations were going downhill. They were going to make a killing with the indigo. And they did. We now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. It's something absolutely unheard of. So, that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit. That's why you guys showed up. So, here's what's going to happen. I am going to try to control this as much as possible. So, with every person with a communicator, I'm going to give you a set of questions. Focus or out loud, however you want to do it. There's no right or wrong way. I'm here every night. She already knows what you're about to ask. If you go rogue and ask your own questions, no yes, no questions, be respectful, and do not ask Eliza about her children. All activity will stop in community enough readings that we've already done. So I've seen it dozens of times. So here's how it'll work. So Dana and Jacob, you're going to have the same set of questions, just because you guys have the spirit box that gives us the most. We're going to focus on Eliza's death. So 4 major questions we get answers to. Age and time of death, how she died, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So those are 4 majors. Age, how, where, president. That's the easiest way to remember that. So with yours, Miss Sarah. Have I screwed up anybody's name yet, by the way? So anybody remember my name?
Catherine.
Not Nick. Where did that come from? I came from somewhere. I heard it. So Sarah, with yours. Yours is going to be kind of a catch-all for all of the other questions because we don't know where the answers are always going to fall. So Dana over here might ask a question and might go to any of the other devices, including the audio from cameras. So with yours, I'm going to have you have the same questions as what Miss Donna is going to have. And you guys are going to focus on what happened to the mansion. Don't hear it. So ask what happened to it. If we get the what, we will often get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that tragedy occurred. I just gave you a clue. It's a tragedy. Kind of keep that in the back of your brain. You can also, if you wanted to, go a little bit deeper into Eliza's marriage, only because Eliza's maiden name starts with the letter L. And the only reason I'm telling you this is because the one Eliza that I told you about is the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. wife, named Eliza, also has a maiden name that started with the letter L. So both Elizas, both of Charles's wives, have the exact same initials. Try to figure out which Eliza we're dealing with. And I'll reveal what those answers are before we separate before we leave the space. I'm just looking around because one of my devices actually broke today. I tried to fix it and I made it even worse. I know it seems weird because I tried to untangle Dana's thing and like, just don't touch the equipment, you make it worse. But yeah, this thing was like, I'm looking around like, where's that device at? And we're not using it because the damn thing broke. Any other readings that I need to know outside of the two of you? See those? Okay. So I don't think I need to show anybody anything else extra. So Naomi, do you have anything weird coming out of there? Because I'm seeing that thing going nuts all the time. It's going to be really low. So, yeah, you'll get it. All right, let's spread out. I'll be with everybody in just a minute. I'm going to keep Sarah with me for just a minute so I can get to that list. I want to see it. Yeah, everybody spread out. Stay away from the vehicle.
What is yours again?
Infrared camera.
When you want to see
So if you see something,
If I see a person, if it's not a person. No yes or no questions.
oh, is no yes or no questions?
No yes or no questions.
Oh, okay.
So ask more specific questions. Eliza, what color is your hair?
Okay, so it's like
It's not going to but Eliza is going to pull something out of her back. I talk about this right. Good, but I want but I want
I got no readings.
Sweet. No.
But yeah, the camera is super fun to play with, and I figured even when I have like my non-viewers, it shows I have fun. I'll give you the mic. So we are going to
That's not reading anything.
Because I think Elijah's full of shit.
ours, and then literally just
Trying to angry it now.
so let me
This first one.
That's just cars.
Oh, regular goes through.
yeah, like me, like that is.
But what is yours supposed to show?
So like if we get close to somebody, it'll show up.
I can. I
Infrared.
love when I can like make a joke and I get that.
He's in the
Like, he gets it.
Okay.
He's on it. How are we doing with your cam?
I was just trying to understand what it's showing.
So
It's just a camera.
So it's picking up, it's using light we can't see. So it doesn't always, like with this particular type of space, because it is pretty wide
Pretty
and vast.
bright,
Right.
yeah.
So, I mean, obviously my hand is going to show up in black and white,
Right.
and it's reflecting the light better. We just can't see this light. So the hope is he's kind of scanning the area, that something is going to come across it that we wouldn't normally be able to see that's reflecting the light. So that's the hope here. Is it always super productive? Not necessarily. Again, most of the cameras, 4 to 5 pieces a year.
Sure.
That's just kind of how this goes. A, they're fun to play with.
Yeah.
And 2, it gives us a visual effect of what we're doing out here.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, with Katie's camera, like I have to go through that one. I can't tell you how many times I have to stop it, take a screenshot, brighten it up. Like that one takes me the longest.
Yeah.
Just because it's picking up on every
Everything.
damn thing. Speaking of, Katie, have you noticed that it picks up shadows?
Yes.
That is an absence of light. So just kind of keep that in mind. So just kind of keep in mind it's not a ghost on the ground.
Yeah.
It's just you.
And it's picking up on the signs.
Yep. So anything with leaves is much different. All leaves are in front of another leaf. Just kind of like how my nose and eyes are. The leaves are the exact same way. It's always going to look like something else has that. That's why it's kind of that like.
Have you picked up anything yet?
I don't believe so.
No.
No. Mine's an infrared camera.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Any orbs? No.
no. Nothing yet here. You can scan it.
I
around.
picked up an orb my husband passed, and he
Yeah.
was by our house. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it was very evident.
Yeah. You can tell if I'm going around. There's not a. But it's neat, right? Like, if I'm assuming this is your friend to my left.
Yes.
When we go next to her, she's going to show up black and white, super bright.
Yeah.
Say hello.
I'm not a ghost. I'm still here.
So,
But is Chad and Ed here?
Yeah, I mean, that would be amazing. So we each lost, well, she lost her son-in-law and I lost my husband. So
when did you do? When did you
just
lose?
a couple months ago.
Oh, wow.
August,
June 23rd was Chad.
and August 13th.
So sorry. Do you want me to,
Thank you.
see if I can film you guys and see if there's something behind you? I'll let you know.
Yeah, I would love that.
Let me back the zoom up.
So, we believe they're with us always. Always. But you never know. They could be in India. They could be doing whatever they want.
What's their favorite color?
Chad would be red and black. He's a Georgia Bulldog fan.
Okay.
Blue and green for Ed.
Okay. Any other specifics? Anything you want to ask them?
I'm
just
so
need to
open.
know that you're
Are you
so
okay?
pleased. Yes.
Are you okay?
What's something specific you want to ask them? Like a specific answer. Not a yes and no.
What music is playing at your funeral?
There you go. That's good. If it's too tough, we won't go any deeper. If it's too tough, we won't go any deeper.
Chad. I'm gonna cheat my macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cheat my macaroni and cheese. It's very specific. Yep. There's a very specific instrument that plays at your funeral.
How much?
Yep. What did you do in the churchyard?
I see like an aura around you guys, but anything crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Aw, well, that's good that we have auras.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
for sure.
Good. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
Oh.
See if she has an aura. So she didn't really have one. I think it was kind of blurry around both of you.
Nikita. Wow. Yeah, it was her significant other.
See if there's anything around her.
Sure. You
Because
guys
I
want
want
to
her to know that Chad's with her.
Yes.
have her back up?
I need you back up.
Yeah, come here. No, I'm asking them. Sorry.
What am I doing?
Okay.
I was going to have you stay there.
Okay.
Come here.
Okay.
So if I move it, right? Remember we looked at the other lady.
Mm-hmm.
If I move it, and then maybe
Oh. Oh, Nikita.
pretty neat, right?
You can see it. It's right there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what if I
There's a presence behind. Oh, wow.
can I move?
Sure.
Yeah.
Is he following her?
Oh, it's right there.
Oh, so it's not Eliza.
I don't know.
Someone else?
Thought it was pretty neat.
Someone
Wow.
else there?
Have a great
Wow.
night.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Didn't do the 38, honey.
Good. Was it Smith and Wesson?
Such a clever fella.
You guys get my business card over there?
I did
If
not.
I have one, I'll give them to you.
I
You
don't
and
have
my
them. They're all
husband
digital.
would get along
Oh, there you
just
go.
Yeah,
fine.
everything I do is digital. That's why there's like QR codes on most of your guys' devices. That's my business card. You guys
I
can scan
gotcha.
that before we leave.
Okay. But those ladies wanted you to try to help them talk to their spirits.
Yes. I told them there was aura around them.
Did you feed them DMs? Shocking, yes, you did.
Get it?
What's the relationship here, by the way?
We're married.
Yeah.
I never know until I start
Yeah.
asking questions.
Yeah, we've been married 14 years next week.
Whether it's real or not, I needed it to be real for them because they needed something that was real for them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but, dude, you didn't tell me you're like, hey, I'm hanging out with Nick for stories in the cemetery, and then you bullshitted them. Like,
I didn't bullshit
No,
them.
I thrive on honesty here.
Yeah, I
No,
told
he
him-
didn't tell them anything.
Okay.
No, they were asking
I just
what
said
you
it
were
looked like
doing
they had an aura around them. That's it.
from the camera.
From the camera.
Katie, you got anything at all that I need to worry about? Nothing? Did you steal his spirit box at all to listen to it? You think he's going to let you hear it at all? Probably not.
picture? Okay.
I do. Keep going. Keep walking.
I understand that. No, they were thankful, and we said that they were blessed to have met me.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's real or not. I don't know what I'm looking at. But they were desperate for an answer.
The ghost don't give a shit who was saying it. They want to hear it. So think of that thing as kind of like Bumblebee from Transformers. Like I know you guys have one and you used it on different speeds. Use that radio track. There's no way to determine on your TV show that it's not the radio track coming through. So my theory is
Just I got one spike when I was saying that to the old lady. Yeah.
remember I'm withholding a lot of information too. I haven't heard if you were 38 or whatever. Yeah. So that's no name.
Where did you have the 38 at?
Kind of where they're all standing.
It stole your thunder, huh?
Why?
You're saying it stole your area.
Oh, that's fine. I just had a 1.2. Woo! Are you getting big readings again anymore?
Yeah. I got like a 18 and it went to like a 15. I haven't read anything else.
Were you saying anything that was specific when your numbers
Let's go
jumped?
back to our
No.
corner, everybody.
I was asking her what reading she's been seeing.
Right.
That was about it.
My camera's gonna die.
Oh, did you tell him?
I will.
What have you heard? Okay. Cameras. Let's go ahead and get them running. However, whenever tourists come through here, they're going to come out of that wall. So there is a little set of stairs in the ivy wall. So it's going to keep that in mind, or they'll come in the way that we do it. If regular people, we're going to go ahead and put you on mute. If regular people would like to just walk through here, we're going to lower our cameras, just point it directly at your feet. We'll split the seas and let them pass through. So again, try not to make, and it's just weird that there's nobody down here on a Saturday night in October. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But let's go around the horn and see what you guys all heard. Ryan told me being number one. What else did we get?
And then I heard it against the wall.
Okay, other spirit boxes, what do we got?
Yeah, I got Halloween too.
Halloween.
Yeah, it's Halloween, so.
Too damn close. Donna, nothing?
Not that I can understand.
I heard Charles. Okay, where did you get the Charles at? Walking by.
I don't use it.
Where's this? Where we at with that?
Okay.
Go ahead and tap that little white box. It's like the last 4 or 5.
Right here?
Yep.
We got people coming.
Yep.
Let's see.
Oh, that's right. So, enough readings, by the way. Remember, we're starting off with enough users. And let's feel free to. Yeah. So,
I got nothing.
yeah, nothing.
Points. I'm getting something on the bottom.
That's the temperature, so that probe might be starting to go bad. I have a
Okay.
little plucked up in that hole.
Okay.
It happens all the time.
Liza.
By the way, that was a normal size ghost board.
Okay.
Like, this is why I only do this size group at a max, and why I don't answer the phone when I'm already saying that. There's no point.
Yeah.
I already know all of your names. I think I've only screwed up once, and I think that was in my own brain. I let you guys know about it. With this place, every ghost tour comes down here. There's about 300 plus ghost tours in town. They all come down here, and I was going to take this out of my route, but I decided to keep it in because this guy follows me around. We will be near a place of raised emotion for this guy from here moving forward. So he has a code word that he has to let me know that he's around that comes through spirit boxes. And it can show up on the word list device too. We've seen that before. But I'm not going to tell you guys what that code word is until later on, and only some of you will know what that code word is. And Donna's looking at me like, wow, this guy's like got some weird shit going on. Like, you just keep
I
giving me
like
that
it. I'm just like,
yeah. What's the code word? I can't tell you what it is. I don't want you guys looking for it.
That's right.
No, because then I'll start to think I heard it.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly. That's why I'm not telling you what it is. I'll just tell you it's not a common thing that you would hear on the radio. So when it comes through, it's a for sure thing. So we all come down here. Let me tell you the story. I'm going to give you a few extra details because we're not on the campfire marshmallow ghost story. Did I point that way? I sure as hell did, didn't I? But again, I'm going to give you those extra details because we're ghost hunting. We'll throw shit up in here and we're going to leave. That's how this goes. So this is Philadelphia Alley. Easy for me to remember because Philadelphia is where a lot of the Pinckney's buried, right? But this used to be called Jewelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. I say some of the duels because dueling was illegal in the 1700s and they had to find hiding spots. This would happen to be one of those hiding spots. So here's the story that goes with the location and why it's haunted. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you that are still listening to your spirit boxes, if you guys hear the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, it's not uncommon. It's part of his name. We get it all the time. But anyway, Doc moves here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda to get rid of that doctor fellow. So he comes down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. He's going to start his medical practice down here. So on his way into town, he had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. It's having a really bad Uber driver in today's world. So if somebody's taking an Uber home, I'm sorry, but I just ruined that for you. But anyway, there was somebody walking by and seeing what was about to happen to the newcomer because he needed a coachman. But somebody walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. Do those initials sound familiar at all?
R.I.
Yeah. Rhode Island, where the doctor came from.
Okay.
So we were getting the letters RI on regular spirit boxes all the time. So I bought another device, which is the one that broke at home today that I was trying to fix. It gives us letters like a Ouija board. It only works off of EMF. That's how it operates. But it was malfunctioning, so I destroyed it apparently. But anyway, moving on. Ralph tells the doctor, hey dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Why don't you come with me to go to 59 Church Street and you can rent a room from these friends of mine and you'll be safe. Well, the doctor took him up on the offer, and the two gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money, he's making his own. But she gets wind of this, and she's moving down so they could be married. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is why I was going to take this out of my route. I hate cliches. Every haunted city you will ever visit is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. So some of you are from different, like, other haunted cities, you guys get it. But there's some legitimacy to this. We're going to get to that. So why are we in Jewelers Alley during this whole tale of why am I telling you this? Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So they go see Richard III one night from Shakespeare, and on the way home, they're discussing the new actress they just saw. Doc thought she was great. Ralph didn't. Then they started arguing, and now Ralph is insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly, and they go their separate ways. But the next day, Ralph went to his friends at the newspaper and placed an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of bullshit. And Doc saw this and rebutted with, let's go to Jewelers Alley. Somebody's going to die, and we're going to settle this. Keep this in mind that the whole argument started over an actress, and shit was really dumb in the 1700s. So, the two gents came down, took her back to back, and 10 paces away from each other, and then they turned, and Doc pointed his gun in the air and shot his one shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted the courage to show up to the fight, which is often what happens at a duel. But Ralph has his one bullet still, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doctor didn't die. He fell to the ground. His friends picked him up and took him home to 59 Church Street, where he died 10 days later, on November 2nd of 1786. after refusing medical treatment. Two things about the last statement I just said. First off, it is 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than what we know of them now. Know your ghost. So, he refused medical treatment because he is a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and probably just tried to bleed it out himself, but he failed, obviously, because he died. Now, every ghost tour is telling their guests to listen for the whistles while they're down here. We have 3 cameras running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, more than likely going to show up on one of those 4 devices. However, I can't tell you how many times I've gone through Jacob's recording, and when I'm going through your guys' spot check, it's minute 1, 5, 10, 15. I'm not looking for anything. I'm just randomly looking through those particular minutes in a very weird incremental manner. The whistling part of a song will show up, and then the word doctor immediately after, and then I'll look at the timestamp and say, oh, we were down Jewelers Alley at that point. It happens all the time. Doctor, it's just, I can't tell you how many times. I've been coming here for 5 years, dozens at this point. So just kind of take that for what it's worth. If you're going to try this on your own, because remember I've been kicked out of here, we're going to talk about that next, and you walk all the way through here with your voice recorders from your phone, listening to those whistles, just remember, every local knows the damn story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down the alley. It's just something we do here. So keep that in mind. Let's talk about how I got booted out of here. So, especially when we don't have a whole lot of people around us. The way we came in, there was a wall up there about halfway between us and Cumberland Street. And the reason why the wall was there is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. This was called Cow Alley. So why am I telling you this? They started down there and worked their way this way over the years to the alley that you fully see. So this is where the cows, goats, and chickens were kept. But those bricks down there where they started are obviously older than the ones you're standing on. Those were sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down at the end of this alley. I used to take my group all the way down there after their history lesson to go see it. We all need to see how far we've come from slavery here in Charleston. However, it was a history lesson. There was nothing paranormal about that damn brick. The reason being, oh, that was a perfect screen for Halloween, right? But anyway, you guys already know how I feel about cemeteries. That kid is not staring at that brick in the afterlife. That's the last place you're going to find it. Right. So, November 26, 2020. Took my entire group of 10, same size as you guys, all the way down there, pointing out the brick, and we're going to continue on. But that group decided to stop, and they're huddled around the damn brick, just like we are right now, waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to shoo them along because I know nothing's going to happen, and we're standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm trying to be respectful to the neighbor, not realizing we were out of bounds. I was still new to this. So, the new owner of that mansion came out screaming his head off. My daughter was on the tour that night. She was about 14, and she thought it was absolutely hysterical that her father was getting yelled at. She was all about it, and we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays simply because I worked in upper management for Walmart before I started doing this. You guys fight over towels on Thanksgiving, and you start me for life? So I don't do Thanksgiving especially. The next day, I called my partner that brought me into tourism, and I told him what happened. He was laughing at me just because he already got the complaint. And he said, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. You got to be about your break. So, this way, I believe. So when I told my group that night, because it's Black Friday, I'm so happy. Guys, I'm leaving the next story, and never had anything happen up there. I'm into vampires, not pirates. I would normally tell you a pirate story next, but I would take out of there too. Talk about that later. But anyway.
Here comes the other. Yep.
Catching anything, guys?
Cold.
So before we left this space, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Ant. Well, if I say pirates, what's the first pirate name that you can think of? No, but we
And Lonnie.
We're gonna let you guys.
Oh, so sorry.
No,
No,
not at
you're
all.
fine.
I feel bad.
I forgot about the other stuff. All the everybody done for.
But you're thinking of Blackbeard.
Yeah. Most people think of Blackbeard, right? I asked that question last night. Somebody said Jack Sparrow. I'm like, he's not on fire. But anyway, so yeah, the correct answer to that was Blackbeard. But we were going to look for Anne Vaughn. She does have a tie to Charleston because she lived nearby. So we would investigate over the Charter magazine because she would recognize the building because it was being built at the same time she came. So that's kind of where we would normally go. But I was kind of like, okay, maybe we'll get something. We go up and around the corner, and I didn't know much about Pirates in Charleston, and somebody else heard the number 300. I didn't know what that meant. I wrote it down. I did the research that morning, the next morning rather, and we were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact Pirates. Well, you guys are giving me that. Oh wow, that's cool. I was actually quite pissed off. I told you I'm not into pirates at the time. So I have a master's degree in creative writing, and I research a lot, and I like facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore. That's a problem. It was written 100 years after the dates of Blackbeard and Anne Bonny. So whenever you guys found something that could have been something, I have to read like 5 more textbooks to be able to verify that shit. So it was a lot of reading. Half my library right now is all books on pirates, and now I can't even tell you the damn story anymore. I've read more books on pirates, documentaries, video games, you name it. That dealt with pirates. I did my research and went all the way around the horn with it, including all the original documents, and even read some of the logs from Blackbeard himself. So very interesting piece of it to kind of get a hold of. But anyway, we're going to go up and around the corner. I'm going to take Dennis's camera and change out his light and do an extra attachment on there because it's going to have like a focal point on there. And this is going to be a new story for the story that I don't want to tell. And that story is creeping up on me every single night because more and more clues keep coming up from it for me to go back and retell the story I don't want to tell you. So I'll tell you a little bit about it in the event something actually pops up from it. But we're experimenting with a new tale to see if we can get more out of it because I've got a few pieces and I want more. All 3 cameras will be in play here. We're going to be going up to this cemetery, and I want all 3 cameras basically pointed in the same direction to see if we get one reaction from one. I want to know what the other 2 cameras did in retrospect. So that's the hope here. So all spirit boxes and all that stuff will also be in play once I'm done going through the history, and we'll get up close to that cemetery, and hopefully we'll be out of the way of other tours. Have you anybody gotten anything weird coming out of your devices, by the way?
Right before you said the name that was the third, it said third on mine. It was probably like a good 2 minutes before you said something about somebody the third.
I heard November 25th.
We still get things from Anne Bonny, by the way. Like, it's not like she stopped haunting the place because I'm not allowed over there. So.
But isn't Jack her former lover?
Yeah.
I did have a Jack.
That's who Jack Sparrow was based on.
It was.
I did have Jack that come through on mine as well.
Jack Rackham.
Yeah. I had Jack that come through on mine, but I thought it was just because we were talking about Jack Sparrow.
So the third, and then Jack. And what was the other piece that you got out of yours?
I heard November 25th.
November 25th. What's kind of funny about that is I want to say November 25th is one of those majors that we've already mentioned between Anne Bonny, Calico Jack, and Blackbeard. One of them birthdays is on November 25th. So I'm going to dive into that and see if it actually ties in. If it's Jack, obviously we got a little bit of something going on. Any numbers coming out of the EMF meters at all since we've been here?
Got it. I've won something that was about the highest.
Okay, throw that one out. Okay, nothing on yours. No weird sounds.
Just humming.
Just humming. Okay.
Just humming along.
Humming along.
We need whistling.
I know. We need whistling. So you will be unmuted from here to there. When we stop, obviously you'll go back to mute again. I'll tell the story, get us closer to the cemetery, and then you'll be unmuted again, and people will be looking at us like we're a bunch of weirdos. Let's do
I love
this.
it.
All right, Doc. He's going to follow us around. Let's do it. You want to go there?
Where?
So the sign is right here. And then I'm going to point out where the grave is. And I haven't used this full setup on this side of the cemetery yet, so it should be interesting. So let's get all 3 cameras up here. So Katie, you up here too. Where's Ron? Come on over, Ron. I want to show you where this grave is actually at. So do you guys see the crosshead stone way in the back there?
Mm-hmm.
Sue's grave is just to the left and one more row back. We were actually closer to her when we were in the alleyway, but this is the only way we can actually see it. So yeah, let's get those cameras like right up in there and let's see if we can capture it. Yeah, good luck trying to get that. Ron, you might want to work. There you go. Dennis, you're in charge of the timer. Can you see the timer on your screen?
I got a 23.3.
Nice. Where was your phone at?
If I would have said it. That's why as soon as I said it, I was like, oh shit, never mind,
So
I had
right
my phone
around when
out.
we get up to 8 minutes, Dennis just kind of give us a heads up.
Okay.
And I'll just say, please, if another tour comes up and is like waiting to use the space, I'll probably cut it short and get out of the way. Katie, that's perfect. Keeping it nice and still kind of helps us debunk instead of moving it around. So that's good because there's a lot of layers in there.
Nothing. We got 0 readings. Except the temperature below that you said was
Yeah.
75.9. 64.
It's about 75.
115.
That's great. Now it's at 241. We're
Yeah.
burning up out here, everybody. Heat wave. But
I got 66 still.
yeah, that's about right. You guys can ask questions if you want. This is a free-for-all location, so I think you mentioned I just try to, control that one just because of how sensitive she can be.
Yeah.
This one, if you guys want to ask questions, see if you can verify it, you can. Just completely up to you.
Like, is there a spirit here with us? Those kind of questions.
Go for it.
Okay. Is there anybody here? Come to the gate. See us.
Just go up.
Yeah.
Go across. Yeah. We got 3 different type of boxes here that can see you. You'll show up in one of them. You just gotta walk across. So
Yep.
who brought this guy? You're fine. He's actually doing a great shot for us, just in case you guys are wondering. Like,
Yeah.
it's not hard. It's not easy to hold that thing. Like,
I
completely
know,
steady.
man. He's doing great.
There's a lot of weight on that.
Yeah.
Like he
He's
has
got
like
strong hands.
pressed it against like solid.
I guess there are any spirits here that want to come see us. You could walk by and we could see you. So that's yours.
I had 20 and sons that came through sleep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that I wonder if he has
It's a big old spotlight. Yeah, out there.
I will point out for the people using cameras, do you guys see the light up there to the left?
Yeah.
So the church put that up there on purpose to try to deter people from taking photographs up here because it causes light flares. I want you guys to take note that you cannot see light flares in the cameras that you're using. So it's like, put your phone up there, it's going to cause a light flare. 100%. That's why it's angled the way that it is.
She
Gotcha.
had 20 and then son on her. Yeah. Was it 20
You
or
heard any
20?
words?
Huh? Is it 20 or 20th? You told me earlier.
You hear 20 or 20th?
20th. And then I heard son.
We don't know the gender of the baby. So at least you get both things, boy and girl. So, I've seen it both ways.
And what was her name supposedly?
Sue
Sue.
Howard Hardy.
Sue. Okay. Sue, you're here. Come walk by us.
Jacob, you got anything? You got anything? You got anything coming through?
Nothing really.
I've still got zeros.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we get excited about 2.5s here. This is not the Pinky Mansion, so
Yeah.
those little blips do mean something. Pinky Mansion can just go nuts, like what we had earlier.
She's got something.
No, it's the post.
Oh, it's a post. Okay.
Yeah.
I was getting excited.
Where's that?
All in the same boat.
Yeah,
the
it's
tree.
it's that post right there behind the tree. I did it in
Oh,
the
okay.
other one, too.
I think you're picking on that tree right
It's right the
there.
post.
Nope.
Yep.
Put it up higher to get over those branches. Oh, I see.
No, because then it picks up, then it picks up
We're
the
right
tree.
there.
Yeah, but right down there was something.
That's just a tree, but like whatever that is just not a tree.
It's a post.
The post doesn't have eyes. The eyes are like 2 feet above the post.
No.
So that is really the building.
But he said you want to see it like all that. Like it was staying in the same spot.
There is a building back there.
Yeah, it's right on that post. Well, that was kind of jumping.
No, what I'm talking about is the black. It's literally right underneath the pipe.
Yeah, it's just picking up all those objects right there. Deliver. Foliage is always
You see anything there?
I see the epitaph.
You see what?
I just see the grave markers.
Okay.
I'm trying to
I like
believe.
it.
Yeah.
So we were getting
That's
something
got
on
to be
her,
somebody. That's got,
but
Look at
we,
that.
but it's coming right over that post.
yeah. It almost looks like something like peeking around
Can you
the tree.
point where was that case?
Up, that post.
Right at that code. Picking up on obviously this.
Yeah.
Picking up on the outline.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we need to see that thing walking at us. Yeah. And then also, doing some kind of motion that we requested.
Doing the Dougie.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody wants to walk past us.
What's the timer look like now?
We're at 6 minutes total.
They're like, it's Saturday. We're not hanging out here.
They're out partying.
That whole baby photograph thing, though, like that was, like those people didn't even know that's. I didn't
Yeah.
tell this story last
Yeah.
night, so
Yeah.
Did that happen last night?
that was last night. So the cool thing is for you guys' data, like you'll be able to scroll down and see any other date you want to. So
Right.
you can just go back to last night's data and go see my notes from theirs too. I don't hide anything. It's
Right.
all up for grabs.
Right. You know what is that? That showing the tree up there?
So
Yeah.
these are all leaves up here.
Okay.
So we kind of talked about those earlier, but this outline right here is picking up on the tree trunk. You can see it
Got
directly there. And then it's basically trying to make it look like a stick figure because that's what it's designed to do.
Right.
But if we have, like, where the 3 points are for the face, if it's, like, in a leafy area, I obviously have to throw that
Right.
stuff out.
Right.
It's too easy. All right, I think it's fair to say let's go ahead and stop those cams. What do you think, Dennis?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. It was my new spot for last year. So I only had 2 people. It was in November, right after Halloween, and it was cold as hell, and everybody canceled. So I only had 2 people, so I said, time to experiment. Let's see what we get. So the young lady listening to the Spirit Box, she heard the year 1828 and the name Henry. I was using the word list that night because there was only 2 people on the tour, and I had the name Tim. This bust right here is Henry Timrod. He was born in 1828. It was a hot diggity damn. There's my ghost. Here's his quick story. He's a writer, and he's sick for most of his life. He was born in 1828. That makes him old enough to go fight in the Civil War. So he goes out to fight for the Confederates, and his comrades realized he was too sick to fight. They sent his ass home, knowing he was a writer, and said, go be the voice of the war. Go tell people what's going on out there. He came home to Charleston and started writing poetry. He became known as a laureate for all the work he was doing. So it's a pretty big title, in case you're not familiar with that. But anyway, he's doing pretty well, writing, publishing, and he has a son. His son's name is Willie. He was born on Christmas Eve, but he died 9 months later. So we're actually getting really, really close to his anniversary of his death date of October 23rd. So the month of October is usually weird here. Just going to point that out because Henry also died in the month of October. So last October, we didn't get anything. It was like shit. Like the whole month of October was crazy. But anyway, moving on. Henry's not writing as much because he's mourning his son. And he has a writer friend. His name is Paul Hamilton Hayne, another writer, that says, you know what, you're not writing as much. Go use my cottage and get back on track. It's in Columbia. Leave Katie, your wife, behind. That's part of the reason why I chose her, by the way, because her name is a trigger. But anyway, he says, leave her behind to mourn with her parents. Well, Henry goes out to his cottage, and that's where he wrote his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality, which means dear person with a short life. And then he popped, and it landed on the page in a bloodstain. He had tuberculosis. He died right there, age 38, pen in hand. However, we're here because of the bloodstain. The bloodstain is shown 1 day a year, only on Halloween, at the Charleston Library Society, where all of his work is being held. The reason why is because it looks like the silhouette of a man writing at his desk. You have to be a member to be able to go see the silhouette, this bloodstain, but the internet's beautiful. I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then we're going to go over there and talk to a ghost. So hopefully we get some damn images coming through Donna's machine, so that way it'll actually work out really well. Here is the bloodstain.
So on his writing, he coughed. The blood stain came out. Oh my God.
There's the bloodstain.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So we started off with a nice easy football player. We're going to end with a bloody death. Not to mention, it's pretty close to Halloween on the day that they normally show it. We're past the anniversary of Henry's death himself. That would have been October 6th. So we actually got some activity that night.
So what's the October death thing? His son?
His son and his.
Or both October.
So it's like he's mourning both him and his son.
Okay.
So like last October, like nothing was going on. No EMF readings. These sessions were horrible. Like it was just shit all the way around. But this month, it's been pretty okay, other than the lack of images coming through the device that Donna's going to be using. So we'll kind of see what happens when we get over there, and then we'll wrap up our night, and this will be our last spot. So you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Hopefully they talk to us. Yeah, once they get started. Alright, we're gonna stay in nice and tight with these folks too, like we're not gonna wander around. Alright, you all ready for that?
We're ready.
In the event that you two over there are gonna be too loud, your family member is gonna tap you on the shoulder. I mean, you gotta quiet down a little bit.
I don't trust her with that.
She'll be alright. I don't touch the people on the bench, so she's gonna have to do this. So, with that said, when we're done, you're still not going to be able to hear me. So your family member will tap you on the leg. That means you take off your own gear. We'll kind of do a quick discussion on what just happened. I'll let you know if it was good or bad or indifferent. Did you guys figure out your blindfolds? Yes. Doesn't look like it. Rip it, rip it. Look at Katie's on it. Look at you. All right, hang on. So when you guys get under, I'll set this up when I'm talking to them. When you guys get under there, it's okay to tell me everything you're hearing. Okay, so that includes yes/no answers because you don't know what the hell I'm asking. So if you hear yes or no, hopefully we get something out of it. We'll do this for 10 minutes only. Any more than that is disorienting for some people, so we'll get you out of there. And in the event that it's pretty light, like nothing is going on, including no images, we might pull you out at 8 minutes like I did last time. Okay, that's a good start. That's a really good start. Now, I would say go ahead and blindfold up, headphones. It is 11:01.
Do you want Dennis over there or where I'm sitting?
He's fine.
Okay.
Have you ever done virtual reality before? Okay, so this is not going to be like Jurassic Park eating your face off.
Okay, gotcha.
So you're going to see a galaxy off in the distance. No, I take that back. I changed it. You're going to see a cloud of smoke. That's just going to be like a billowing smoke. That's just so you don't fall asleep. You don't need to look for anything in the smoke. Some people try to make a face out of it or some bullshit. It's not that. Every once in a while, you're going to get an image in front of it. Sorry, I'm just trying to set it up. It's going to look like a photograph, a cartoon, a painting. You're just going to give us a very quick description of what you're seeing, like 3 ladies on a bench, tree. Like that's all you're going to tell us. Because you're going to have these 2 over here that are going to be trying to talk over you, and they don't know that you're trying to talk. So unless they're not speaking much, which I don't think is going to happen with Miss Dana, she can't hear us. I can insult her, right? Forget. It's your focus, by the way. So in case you get in there and it's blurry, just turn the style until it's good for you. I'll ask you probing questions in the event that they're not giving us anything. Oh yeah, put them on. So can the 2 of you hear us? What color is a blue banana? Perfect. Henry, we're getting a sound from the church across the street. Can you tell us what the sound is? Henry?
Silver?
Silver what? You getting an image already?
Fire.
Oh.
Looks like fire everywhere.
Yeah. Fire. Henry? Silver what? What sound did we just hear from across the street?
Body?
Okay. And I was just looking to verify the sound immediately, but you can go into your work like we always do. What did you do for a living? Let's verify that you're here. Let's get right into your work. Feel free to answer the first
I'm
one.
talking.
Well, we're not hearing anything from you, so I'm going to continue talking until you give us answers. You can feel free to answer the question I asked initially about what sound we were hearing. The fire picture does not represent that.
Killing me.
It's starting to get loud. Get ready. They all do it.
If you know what I mean.
We might have to remind Katie to tell us what she's hearing. So you might want to lift up her headset.
Exactly.
Yeah, tell us what you're hearing. Even the radio commercials that come on, tell us what you're hearing. Like that.
Road.
By the way, you guys were all asking me about the code word. That's a lad was here because the house he lived in, 59 Church Street, is right around the corner. His code word is perfect. So it's not a common word you would normally see. I like the 2.7 though. We have something that's a good sign. Henry, we could use another image through the blue box. I asked you about your work.
Arrested.
What about your work? Henry, show me maybe on the end. Her name is
Ready or not? Driving me crazy.
What does the name Katie mean to you, Henry?
Confused?
Henry, what does the name Katie mean to you?
I'm in love with you.
That makes sense. Thank you, Henry. Thank you. Can you tell us more about who you were in love with?
Who Jesus is.
How did you meet Katie? Can you tell us that? You can show us in the blue box. That way Donna doesn't fall asleep in there. Henry was a school teacher.
Remember?
Just so you guys know. When she was 16 years old, she met him. He was 19.
Historically?
Henry, how did you meet Katie?
Okay.
Henry,
Question?
how did you meet your wife? Yeah, that old schoolhouse is still standing, Henry.
Good enough. Original version?
Henry,
Sleeping?
tell us how you met your wife. When you say her name, and that will give us a little bit more verification.
Corner booth?
Henry, where was the schoolhouse? Where was that? Several things on the floor. Henry, what city was the schoolhouse in? Where you met your wife, Katie?
Fine.
You need to find it. What city was it? You tell us.
Put things together.
If I tell you what city it is, can you verify it for me? That's a yes, no question.
No.
Okay. Can you tell us what city it is? Breathe a little heavy as you can.
She's been doing that the whole time.
I just noticed how it's been
Yeah, she's been
past few months.
doing that since we started.
That's why I don't write anything down. The music and then when it's breathing, make sure it gets together. Henry, we are definitely running out of time. We got about maybe 2 to 3 minutes left.
I can do better on my own.
How so?
Whatever exists.
Did somebody else come here with you?
here.
Henry. Who else came here with you?
Two.
Two people. Okay. You got two people with you, Henry? Henry, if you'd like us to leave, tell us that you're at home.
Harrison.
Henry, we're going to wrap this up. Can you tell us good night?
He wasn't just crazy.
Henry, one more image and we'll wrap this
Valid
up.
option in my mind.
Henry, one last question about the schoolhouse. Can you tell us if it's in Florence, South Carolina?
Burning.
Approach.
Carrying.
Henry, we're going to say good night. So last chance, Timrod going once. Timrod going twice.
How you feel about it?
Don't want to leave, but you're not giving us permission. So,
Last night.
what about last night?
You'll remember.
Got it recorded. Henry going once, twice. Last chance for an image. Alright, let's get these ladies tapped out. Family members. Donna, feel that thing on the face. So we have that's one image.
One image was fire.
Hey, you know what? It's better than the past four.
Yeah.
Okay. Cameras, you can go ahead and put a stop to those.